Good evening. It's about 5:30 in the evening. You can see, at least on Instagram, you can see the red clock on the wall above us. It's a little after that. This is John Perivale. I am here with your weekly roundup of purely classical chamber music. There's so much live streaming going on that we've had to separate out the classical chamber music from the contemporary chamber music. Otherwise, this one live stream can run 30 minutes or longer. And so we're trying to keep them down to a little shorter periods. And that's what we will do today. Today will be classic chamber music, string quartets, wind quartets, solo piano, organ and strings, etc., etc. All of the purely classical music of the classical composers that's in smaller groups than a full-size orchestra. So let's get right to it with the first thing I want to mention is the reason we're going at 5:30 today rather than 6 when we often go is that Artbene is live streaming today at 6 o'clock European time, which is in about 25 minutes from now, a concert from the Moscow, the Catholic Cathedral, the Roman Catholic Cathedral of Moscow. Their ongoing series of concerts. And this one is Vivaldi and Tchaikovsky. They're going to be playing both Vivaldi and Tchaikovsky's The Seasons. So you can compare the two. And it's an organ and strings ensemble. But I already put out a separate video about that. So I commend that to you. And right after this is finished, it will be the time for you to go over and check that out if you'd like to. Otherwise, let's move on to the rest of this week's performances. Rachmaninoff. If you loved Rachmaninoff, Music at St. Mary's Perivale has a live stream for you on Thursday afternoon, UK time, their usual Thursday afternoon slot, another in their something like 1,500 live streams that they have done since the COVID period. This will be Michael Petrov on the cello and Rosie Richardson on the piano. It's at 2 o'clock UK time, which is 3 o'clock in the afternoon Thursday in Europe, 9 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, and 6 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. Might be worth getting up early for if you really love Rachmaninoff. They'll be doing Rachmaninoff's Prelude in F, Opus 2. It's very short, 4 minutes. They'll be doing Nepoi Krasavitsa, Sing Not to Me, Beautiful Maiden, from the 6 songs, Opus 4, number 4. That's 4 minutes long. They'll be doing his Vocalise, which is 6 minutes long. They'll be doing Zdez Korosho, How Fair Is This Spot, from 12 Romances, Opus 21. Number 7, that's only 2 minutes. And then they will launch into, then Michael Petrov gets to really launch into it because they will do Rachmaninoff's Cello Sonata in G minor, Opus 19. Let me tell you a little bit about these two musicians. I think I have a photograph of them for you. I hope I uploaded that photograph. Yeah, here it is. Here's a photograph of Rosie Richardson and Michael Petrov. You can't see it on the Instagram feed because it is not integrated with my multi-platform live streaming service. Michael Petrov is Bulgarian-born, studied at the Yehudi Menuhin School, and then at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, where he took the gold medal in 2014 and won the Wigmore Hall Prize in 2017. He's already performed at major concert halls all over the world, really, like the Concertgebouw Amsterdam, the Cité de la Musique in Paris, Musikverein in Vienna, at the Los Angeles Cello Festival, with the Köln Philharmonie. He's been a soloist with Philharmonie, which is this very avant-garde London-based orchestra, with the Bournemouth Symphony and the Munich Chamber and English Chambers. Rosie Richardson took a master's in solo performance at the Guildhall School, but actually solo performance is not what she likes to do. She's more of a collaborative pianist. She's listed on at least one website in the UK as an accompanist, available to accompany people. She and working with other people, she has given recitals at Milton Court, Wigmore Hall, the Purcell Room, and the 1901 Arts Club, she tells us. Now, there is one biography of her which says that she also teaches at the Guildhall School now, but that's not listed in the biography which St. Mary's Perivale gives for her. She happens to be, in addition to a musician, a vicar in the Anglican Church, and she is an associate vicar at St. Paul's, Knightsbridge. She is an ordained minister. If you like Rachmaninoff, you can have your fill on Thursday afternoon, European time, or Thursday morning, and very early in the morning on the West Coast in the US. Let's move on now to Thursday. Oh, and this is another concert on Thursday, but it's about 6 hours later because it's in New York. Those who know and love early music know that there was once a golden age of music from the Netherlands. And some of the names I'm going to be mentioning in just a bit of composers, you early music enthusiasts, you already know them, but a lot of people don't. Most of us are not early music enthusiasts. So there's a concert, the Midtown concerts on Thursday are a great opportunity, free of charge, for both those who love the early music and those who might want to learn about early music to enjoy it. This concert is given by As the Crow Flies. It's called Music of the Dutch Golden Age. It's Thursday, November 14th, 1:15 p.m. in New York, 10:15 in the morning on the West Coast, and a lovely 7:15 in the evening, perfect time for some early music recital in Europe. It's on YouTube, free of charge. If you do log on to it, as on any of the live streams on YouTube, check in the comments section, see if Access Arts Live is there, and say hello. It's free of charge, but if we will also give you the link in case you want to make a donation to support the series, because they like getting support from people who doesn't. Anyway, this will be let's see. 2 violins, a violoncello, plucked instruments, and keyboards. It's Anna Marie Schubert on violin viola, Ella Kodzas on violin viola, Cordelia Mutter on violoncello, Dana Zanuti-Frank on plucked instruments, and Nathan Mondry on the keyboards. And do I have a photograph? Yeah, I do. I have the banner for As the Crow Flies. Here are these. They're young'uns, folks. They're young musicians who love the Dutch early music, but it's a relatively new collective, and they are exploring music along the trade routes of the 17th and 18th centuries. It's sort of related to they've all been involved with the Juilliard Historical Performance Program, and it's music ranging from the continent and the Low Countries, les Pays-Bas. That's what the Dutch. That's what the Netherlands is referred to. In Netherlands, actually, it means Pays-Bas, the Low Countries. But music spread out to the west and eastern reaches of the world because the Dutch were everywhere at the time. And they will be playing works by composers like Benedict Bunz, if you've heard of him or not, Karel Hacquart, and works by Wilhelm and Helen Dahl. This strikes me as really very much steeped in the early music tradition. The Gotham Early Music Society is really where it's at when it comes to that kind of thing. So I can commend this concert to you. There's another early music concert also this week, the next day on Friday, coming from the Moscow Philharmonic Chamber Hall. It's by a group called Pratum Integrum, and they're early music specialists who are individual soloists. Here's a photograph of them from the Moscow Philharmonic. That's Sergei Filchenko on the violin, Natalia Vyasovskaya on the violin, Sergei Tishenko on the viola, and Alexander Gulin on the cello. There'll be Mozart, but curiously enough, there's no description given in the program of exactly what they're going to play by Haydn and Mozart. So I almost regard this as sort of a footnote to the Gotham Early Music concert on Thursday. If you like the one, then you may like the other, but you know a lot more about the Gotham Early Music concert of Dutch masters than we know about what they'll be playing on Friday. But let me give you the times of that concert. Anyway, it's Friday at 5 o'clock in the evening, European time, 11 in the morning on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, and 7 o'clock in the evening, Moscow time. If you're really gung-ho to hear some Haydn and Mozart, it's free of charge. There's nothing that keeps you from tuning into it and enjoying some music from another part of the world that we do not hear an awful lot about anymore. Next, we move on to Saturday's chamber music. I discovered sand animation last summer in connection with an organ recital given by Ukrainian organist Eva Belmas. She was doing a live streaming at the Ely Cathedral in the UK, and we were publicizing it. But she was telling us about a Harry Potter concert tour she was going to do, playing Harry Potter music with a sand animation function included in it. And this is painting images with sand. Now, if you've never seen that, you don't know what it is. Saturday on November 16th, Artbene is live streaming an opportunity for you to discover this interesting combination of organ and sand streaming. It's a concert, a storytelling concert called Scarlet Sails. And Scarlet Sails, it was tremendously popular Slavic folktale that really became current. I don't think it's ancient. I think it's a relatively recent invention, meaning in the 20th century, but it became fabulously popular in the 1960s in the old Soviet Union and the Soviet bloc countries. This concert will be played by with the organ it's at the Moscow Roman Catholic Cathedral, which does a lot of live streaming. It'll be an ensemble with the organ and saxophone, flute, duduk, harp, and sand animation and spoken word. There will be an actress who will be telling the story. She's a theater and film actress. Her name is Lyubomirskaya. And let me show you while we're on the subject. Here's a typical poster for I think this was for one of the films. There were two films made, and then there were animations and there were theater pieces. But this is an image from a poster back in the several decades ago. And because the story of the Scarlet Sails is that there's a young woman who comes from a broken up family and they're outcast from society. She meets a storyteller when she's very young who tells her that the love of her life is going to come someday in a ship with scarlet sails. So there you see her waiting for it. And let me give you an example of here's a little clip that I got of what the sand animation is going to look like. There you see how they create the image in the sand. The sand animation artist is Lydia Miller. And with all of this going on, they will be playing music by Grieg, Piazzolla, Debussy, Grangiani, and several other composers. From what I've heard of it, it's really interesting. You know, there was even a summer festival inspired by the book that was organized near St. Petersburg. That is just how popular this story was to people living in those times, because it's a story about someday your love will come. And the Slavs are passionately romantic people. Whatever else you can say about the Slavs, that's just true. Okay, so let's. I think it'll be a highly interesting a concert to tune into. And once again, as with all of the live streams by Artbene that come from the Moscow Roman Catholic Cathedral, it's free of charge. So there's nothing stopping you from just dipping into it and checking it out. And I need to give you the times, don't I? Okay, they're printed in the comment section, but it's Saturday, November 16th, 6 o'clock in the evening, European time, 12 o'clock noon, your Saturday noon, if you want to have your kids watch it, 9 on the East Coast, 9 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, and 8 o'clock in the evening, Moscow time. So it actually works out, if it's like a folktale that you want to have children watch, the timing is much more suitable in Europe and in the US than it actually is in Moscow, where it's an evening performance. Check it out. Okay. There's a composer who lives in Portland, Oregon, Stephen Lewis, and he's on a mission. And his mission is to bring new and neglected music to audiences in his hometown. But he's also opening this up to the global audience with a live stream this Saturday, November 16th. He's a pianist, and he'll be playing the music himself. He'll be playing solo piano music by Stockhausen, Chopin, Bartók, and Olivier Messiaen. And Stockhausen is a very interesting character whom I think we're going to put the link to Stockhausen on Wikipedia and encourage you to check him out if you don't know him. He was one of the better known and more controversial composers of the 20th century. This concert will be, since it's coming from the West Coast, will be at 4:30 in the afternoon in Portland, Oregon, 7:30 in the evening on the East Coast, late night 1:30 in the morning in Europe, and a lovely 11:30 in the morning in Australian Eastern Daylight Time on Sunday morning. He'll be playing Bartók's Piano Sonata. He'll be playing Frédéric Chopin's Nocturne in B major. He'll be playing Bartók's Out of Doors, Part 4, which is called Night's Music, and the whole concert, he's calling it Night's Music. And he'll be playing Olivier Messiaen's 20 Regards sur l'Enfant Jésus, that is 20 ways of looking at the baby Jesus. And then he'll be playing Stockhausen's Klavierstück number 7. There are connections between these composers. Stockhausen studied with Messiaen in Paris, and he deeply admired Bartók. So that explains 3 of them. And then the question is, well, then why is there some Chopin? Why did Stephen Lewis put some Chopin in here? And he simply finds that Chopin's later work is still challenging today with some of the deviations from the norm of musical form and development in his musicological view. So if you're interested in that, I encourage you to check it out. You won't get to see it free of charge. Stephen Lewis is charging $32.50 in US dollars, which is about 30 euros to check that out. Sunday, November 17th, music at St. Mary's Perivale is trying to outdo itself again with a live stream concert by the Equinox Wind Ensemble. This is a veritable powerhouse of freelance musicians who on their own have worked with the Royal Opera House, the London Symphony, the Welsh National Opera, Phantom of the Opera, the show, and Bootleg Beatles. And they'll be playing Nielsen and Poulenc. This will be Sunday at 3 in the afternoon UK time, which is their usual Sunday afternoon concert at St. Mary's Perivale, which is 4 o'clock in the afternoon European time, 10 in the morning. Is that right? Yeah, 10 in the morning on the East Coast and 7 in the morning on the West Coast. It's free of charge. This is the Equinox Wind Ensemble. Well, it is what its name says. It's a wind quintet. I was not able to dig up a photo of it. Since they're freelance musicians, I'm not sure how much of a separate, structure this particular group is. I can tell you that the ensemble consists of flute, oboe, clarinet, horn, and bassoon. And you, Mather, who is very much associated with music in St. Mary's, will be on the piano. So that'll be something to see. There's a terrific chat box on YouTube for all of the music in St. Mary's Perivale concerts, and I commend that to you. It's a lot of fun chatting with people. There's some very knowledgeable music people logging on from Greece, Canada, Argentina, you name it. It's the global public, the nascent global public, I call it, beginning to arise from the shell. They'll be playing Nielsen's Wind Quintet, Opus 43, and then they'll play Poulenc's Sextet for Piano and Wind Quintet. So that's, to me, I can hardly think of a lovelier way to enjoy chamber music than on a Sunday afternoon at one of these St. Mary's Perivale high quality recitals. We have one more. We have one more concert left to tell you about this weekend. I'm not sure. We're already at 20 minutes. It's probably going to be 25 minutes. And you can see how there simply wasn't time to include. We've got a half a dozen contemporary chamber music pieces that I need to tell you about. And I'll probably do that tomorrow because they're all going to be on the weekend. So, but let me finish up this roundup. Sunday, November 17th, 3:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 12:30 noonish on the West Coast, and 9:30 in the evening in Europe, and 7:30 in the morning down under in Australia. Community concerts at the Second Presbyterian Church in Baltimore will be live streaming free of charge Ensemble 132. The Ensemble 132 is a group that includes Grammy Award winners and Grammy nominees. It's another one of these groups of top musicians who come together to play the kind of chamber music they want to play. I've got a photograph of them at work, hard at work, and I think these are the same ones who are appearing this Sunday. It's Abby Fayette on the violin, Luther Warren on the viola, Chase Park on the cello, Sahun Sam Hong on the piano. I realize there are five. I think there are five people in the photograph that I'm putting up for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've just given you 4 names. But that's Sahun Sam Hung on the piano. I'm sorry I can't be more specific on the others, but I'm just a guy here, finding music live streams for you, and opera and ballet live streams. Anyway, they'll be playing Dvorak's Piano Quartet No. 2 in E flat major, Opus 87, and Stravinsky's Pulcinella Suite. And doesn't that sound interesting for a lovely Sunday concert at 3:30 on the East Coast and noon on the West Coast? I think I already gave you those times. This is a new chamber arrangement of Stravinsky's Pulcinella, and so it could be very interesting to see how it turns out. Tell you a little bit more about them. Abby Fayette, the violinist, went to the Curtis Institute of Music and the New England Conservatory. She's the artistic director of the Orpheus Chamber Orchestra and a member of the Catalyst Quartet. Luther Warren, violinist and violist, he's part of the Perlman Music Program's Chamber Music Workshop, the Norfolk Chamber Music Festival, Four Seasons Chamber Music Festival, the Towle School of Music, the New England Conservatory in Boston. So he's a heavy hitter too. Sahun Sam Hung, the pianist, well, he was praised by the Verbier Festival as an artist of enormous prowess. And New York Concert Review talked about how he plays with lots of clarity, confidence, and wisdom. He's one of the founding members of the group. And finally, so this is a group of people whose talent is recognized. They're playing a highly interesting program that in a new arrangement of the Pulcinella Suite, if you love Stravinsky. And if you love chamber music, this would be an excellent chamber music concert to tune into. And as far as I can tell, let me just double check on that to make sure I'm not steering you wrong. It's free of charge on YouTube. If you do tune in, check in the comments section and the chat box on YouTube. And if you see Access Arts Live there, say hello. If you don't, say hello to the moderator and tell them that Access Arts Live sent you, because we would like to at least get some recognition. We do all the work. All you have to do is open up our videos or the other announcements that we do, sometimes print announcements, and click and go. It's all done for you. So I would encourage you, subscribe to us, especially on YouTube, and to make sure that you'll get all of our notices. We not only do these collective live streams where I go over everything in a little bit of detail for you, but we also then post individual clips on the days when individual concerts or recitals are going on. So you will constantly get reminders of what this stuff is, because I tell you, I know how it is. You hear about something on Tuesday or Wednesday, and Saturday comes and you've forgotten all about it. We'll make sure you don't forget about it. We'll send out the reminders. So I hope that some, one, any, or all of these chamber music live streams appeal to you, inspire you, uplift you, or just help you have a heck of a good time.